some sweet peas this spring and summer, so I wanted to build a teepee trellis for them to climb up. I decided to do this using branches that I found around the yard. I tried to find branches that were around the same length, and this was a lot easier once I was using a pruning saw. I snipped the smaller branches so that I would have one long uniform branch, and this was definitely the most satisfying part of making the trellis. I used some twine that I bought at a craft store and tried to balance all of the branches against each other in the most natural way that I could. And the teepee ended up being a lot shorter than I anticipated, but I think it will work just the same. To dig the branches slightly into the ground so that the teepee will have more stability. And I think I might make another teepee to go beside it because I really like the way that this looks in the bed. It definitely has a more natural effect than something that I would have made with wood. There's nothing better than being outside all day, coming in and getting to make a cup of tea, so let's make some. My sister got me some of this spice and tea exchange tea, and this one is blood orange smoothie herbal tea, and it is so good. It's decaffeinated, which is great for me because I'm not drinking caffeine anymore, but it just tastes so sweet and vanilla and has obviously like the blood orange flavor. I would highly recommend. And my boyfriend got me this loose leaf tea steeper, and it's been super handy. It floats in the water, which I think is a really cool design. Okay, so that has to steep for 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm gonna set a timer on my phone. And while that steeps, I thought I would tell you guys a little bit about my background with gardening. So I grew up on 10 acres of woods out in the middle of nowhere, and my mom had a huge garden that she used to pretty much feed us when we were kids. And she grew a lot of vegetables. I don't think she grew that many flowers, but there's a few pictures of me when I was a little kid helping her in the garden and chasing our ducks around the garden beds. And when I was a little bit older, we moved to a bigger house that was in the downtown of the city that I live in now, and we didn't have a lot of gardening space. We still had chickens in a really cute chicken coop, and I loved having chickens. I'd love to have them again soon as an adult. And then when I was 17, I joined a program called WWOOF, WWOOF, and I actually messaged some farms in Norway, which I desperately wanted to visit. I think the membership cost like $40 at the time, and I bought plane tickets to Norway, and then I worked on 2 different organic farms in Norway for 3 months. One was a really amazing vegetable farm that was part of a CSA, and that was on the west coast of Norway, which was really cold and rainy even in the summertime. And then the second farm that I worked at was actually a pig farm a little bit south of Oslo, I think. And that was an interesting experience, to say the least. I was actually vegan when I went to that farm, but did not realize at the time that it was an animal farm. I, for some reason, thought I was going to be doing work with vegetables, but instead I was mostly feeding animals, which made me kind of sad. But I loved the experience, and I was so inspired the whole time I was there. I kept a journal and I was writing down different things, like aspects of their lifestyle that I wanted to incorporate into my own, because my hosts were just very conscious about their environmental impact, and they were super sustainable in everything that they did, and I wanted to be just like them. But then I went to college, and obviously in college you don't have a ton of time to take care of plants. I couldn't even keep a houseplant alive. After graduating, I moved back home. We worked on building this little abode on my family's property, and I've just been working outside ever since. I'm still learning a lot. That's a tea. Beautiful. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm still learning a lot. It's kind of discouraging in the summertime because I live in South Carolina and it gets so hot, and it just makes gardening kind of intolerable. I love growing flowers. I feel like growing vegetables is not as much fun for me because we have a pretty small family that lives here on this property, and we end up with like an overabundance of vegetables whenever I'm growing some, and I'm just not as motivated to take care of them as I am with flowers, because the flowers are just so beautiful, and they obviously have a huge utility to me in making bouquets, which I sold a little bit last year, and I am growing a lot more this spring and summer than I did last year. A lot more varieties, because I would love to continue selling flowers and making bouquets for friends and family. I'm super excited, but I'm so grateful for everyone who is watching and encouraging me. So thanks so much. Okay, now my favorite part. Taking the tea outside and drinking it in the cold. It feels amazing.